My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen. My beloved child, you have been reaching through the dark, trying to grasp what felt just out of sight, asking, when will I know? When will I see? Now hear me. The covering is lifted. I am not hiding from you or speaking in puzzles. What I kept reserved for the right time is now revealed to bless you, not confuse you. This is the moment you were being quietly prepared for. Clarity is pouring in, and the struggles you carried alone are beginning to make sense. I removed the veil, not because you begged, but because the time is right. No more waiting rooms, no more quiet sky. What was sealed is open. You are standing at the edge of what you hoped was true, and it is. The decision about you is not pending. It is stamped and sent. The answer has come in fullness. I saw you sit in uncertainty, cry in the quiet, wonder if I still heard you. I now pull back the curtain, not only to show what's ahead, but to let you see what I've been shaping out of sight. I wasn't punishing you, I was positioning you. The insight you're receiving is not mere information. It's revelation that brings transformation. The delay has ended. My voice is clear, my will is unfolding before your eyes. Even if it feels unfamiliar, don't blink. Don't step back. Don't wait for someone else to agree. Receive it now, because what is settled in heaven is opening on earth for you. Listen closely. This is more than a moment. This is your way out. That door you stood before, the one you prayed would open, the one you knocked on until you were raw, I kept it closed. Not because I was harsh or ignoring you, but because the path behind it wasn't ready for the weight of your calling. You thought I was delaying you. I was defending you. I blocked what you wanted because it could not carry what I put in you. You did not fail. You were preserved. I saw what you didn't. I heard talks you weren't meant to hear. I discerned motives hidden behind smiles. So I stood at that door, not as a barrier, but as a shield. I placed my hand on the knob and said, "Not yet. Now hear me." My hand is lifted. The key has turned. I have declared to darkness and to the courts of heaven, it is time. The doorway is not only open, it carries my authority. You are not waiting for access, you are welcome to walk through. This is a set-apart moment. This is your inheritance showing up. I did not forget your tears or your sacrifice. I was building the other side to match the depth of your obedience. With heaven as witness, step forward, not in fear, not in doubt, but in trust-born boldness. You don't need to look over your shoulder. What threatened you before cannot pass through with you. I have sealed it out and bound it behind you. As you step in, you'll feel the atmosphere change. This is not only a natural shift, it is a supernatural exit. What you're entering was not crafted by human hands but spoken by my decree. It is safe, sacred, and sealed by the blood of the Lamb. You've waited long enough, wondered long enough. Now the door swings wide as proof that when I speak, creation moves, and when I decide, nothing can stop it. Don't hesitate. Run, child, into what I've opened. It will not remain open forever. Treat this hour with reverence. It is confirmed, commanded, and unlocked for you. Pause and hear heaven answer you. Nothing you told me in quiet was lost, not a word whispered in pain, not a tear shed unseen. None of it vanished. While others missed your cry or asked you to be strong when you were breaking, I leaned closer. I carried your prayers, confessions, and midnight aches into my throne room. They were not noise, they were a sweet offering that moved my heart. Even when I seemed silent, I listened with full attention. You were not talking to the air. You were speaking to me, and I took every word seriously. I didn't file your tears away for later or treat your pain lightly. I held it, not to punish, but to preserve, and now I am moving because of it. The incense of your persistence and hunger reached me and stirred me. You thought I was far. I was storing each moment, and now I release what was prepared in response. I never ignored you, never dismissed your despair, never grew tired of your repeated prayers. Each time you returned with the same plea, I saw trust, not weakness. You believed I could answer, even when time said otherwise. That raw, steady faith moved mountains in the unseen long before you saw a shift around you. Today I return not empty-handed, but with fulfillment. Every tear is traded for breakthrough. Every whisper becomes a declaration. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in the presence of angels. Your voice was louder in heaven than you imagined, and now my answer is louder than the pain that birthed it. This is not only comfort, it's confirmation. What you thought was wasted has been working. What you thought was ignored will be honored. My timing is not random. Your tears were seeds, and the harvest starts now. Receive it. Release the lie that I didn't listen. I heard you then, I hear you now, and heaven responds, not because you begged, but because you believed. I have arranged this moment with care beyond your understanding. What's unfolding is not chance or human effort. It's the plan I wrote before you felt ready. The timing, the connections, the way pieces fit, none of it stood alone. I scheduled this encounter and nothing could stop it. What opens now bears your name, spiritually, not metaphorically. In the records of heaven, what is released is tied to your obedience, surrender, and trust in silence. I inscribed your identity into what I prepared so that when the hour came, there would be no confusion. You won't fight to prove it's yours or argue for your place. It belongs to you because I authored it with you in mind. It wasn't handed to another. It wasn't rerouted. I held it until the time I said. No one can take what I reserved for you. No one can copy what I designed for your destiny. There is a seal on this release that opinion, rejection, or rivalry cannot break. Your name has been called in the Spirit, and what rises now is the result of our hidden yeses. You said yes when it cost you comfort. You said yes when you could have walked away. Now that quiet yes opens visible gates. I have woven process into purpose, and clarity is settling on you like morning dew. You may not grasp it all at once, but trust this. You are standing inside a plan I set in motion before you asked. This is holy ground. You will see people, places, and moments align with what is marked as yours. Not because you forced it, but because you remained in me when everything tried to pull you out. The appointment is not late. It arrives when your spirit can hold it with honor. The world may call it breakthrough. You'll know it is recognition, my signature proving I never left, and I was preparing what could not be rushed. Enter open-hearted. Walk sure. Not because you understand everything, but because you trust the one who doesn't make mistakes. You are not intruding. You are being welcomed into what waited for your yes to meet my now. Every obstacle that once stood against you has been handled. There were barriers woven deeper than you knew, spiritual knots, emotional weight, old resistance. I have broken through them. Forces tried to slow you, and though you lacked words, you felt the pressure. I did not ignore it. I worked quietly, dismantling strongholds without asking for your attention. What looked like stillness was me uprooting what could sabotage your next steps. I went ahead to prepare the way and to protect you from harm that would have met you unguarded. I removed traps set against your peace. I silenced voices that weakened your focus. I cut ties that no longer carried my blessing. The heaviness in body and spirit is lifting because I interrupted the cycle that fed it. What weighed you down yesterday cannot follow you into what's next. Places that held you stuck have lost their grip. Drains on your strength have no authority over your future. You will feel the shift, not just around you, but within you. The stillness is not emptiness, it is clarity after a long storm. Doors will open without strain. Conversations will carry unusual grace. Even your thoughts will untangle. I am removing every knot, delay, and clutter that caused confusion. You have stepped into a space where forward motion is no longer hindered. The chains that set your pace are broken beyond repair. They cannot reattach or reform. By my authority, they are finished. What once pulled you back no longer has access. You are not who you were. Your heart has deepened, your mind has stretched, your spirit has matured to carry what I'm releasing. You don't have to fight for every inch now. I've set a clear road, carved by obedience and blessed through waiting. You will move with a peace you've never known. Things will accelerate, not by pressure, but by my wind behind you. I've lifted the weight, removed the walls, and secured the path. Walk free. Nothing will stop what has begun. Your delay was never rejection. Being set aside was me setting you apart. The long quiet, the closed doors, the late answers were not forgetfulness. They were formation. Preparation doesn't always look like progress, but it is the ground where transformation grows. I needed your heart steady in stillness, your faith strong without instant results, your vision cleansed from hurry. What I'm entrusting requires depth, not surface. While you asked for movement, I strengthened your roots. I shaped you into one who won't be shaken by praise, setback, or sudden change. I was not testing to break you. I was training you to carry weight without collapse. Every unseen step, every hidden yes, every choice to trust went into the process now bearing fruit. In the dark, you learned my voice so you wouldn't be misled in the light. You were not wasting time. You were forged into a vessel that can hold what others might drop. The slower pace was deliberate, to keep you from crumbling under what's arriving. Now the process has matured. What was unfinished has reached fullness. You are not stuck in becoming. You are stepping into what has been formed. Clarity will replace confusion. Ease will replace strain. Understanding will meet you. You'll notice the difference, not because you pushed, but because what I began reached the moment of release. Don't return to old cycles or rehearse old fears. They serve their purpose. I am bringing you into a time where what was hidden within begins to flow without resistance. Training is complete. Your oil has been pressed. I pour it now as a declaration for today. Walk boldly, not because you feel ready, but because readiness has taken root. Preparation did not disqualify you. It distinguished you. That distinction will be evident wherever you touch. There were days nothing seemed to move. No reply came. Prayers felt lost. Confusion crept in. Waiting felt heavy. You wondered if you missed it, failed me, or if the promise belonged to others. That's when lies whispered, then shouted, forgotten, overlooked, disqualified. The enemy tried to turn stillness into abandonment. But the silence was construction. I was not idle. I was reordering, rebuilding foundations, rerouting plans that would have harmed you, shielding you from choices that would derail what I was about to unveil. The enemy wanted to break your trust, because if you stayed rooted in the quiet, you would step into something unstoppable. He tried to attach fear to your future, blur your discernment, wear down your hope. But you endured. In your questions, you held on. In frustration, you came back. What looked like weakness was strength being formed. Every time you leaned in instead of walking away, you tore down lies. In that quiet, I drew you close and strengthened what cannot be seen. Your spirit learned to know my presence by still waters, not just noise. That inner work is now your anchor. When others shake, you will stand. When voices confuse, you will discern. What you gained in the quiet is power no one can steal. The enemy failed. His plans didn't work. His pressure exposed your endurance. I now unveil what I completed. The silence is lifting. Clarity is arriving. What was hidden will be lived. I wanted you to trust me when you couldn't trace me. Because you remained, you will move forward with divine momentum. Nothing can stop what I started. What he tried to break, I rebuilt stronger. What he delayed, I accelerated. What he hoped would fade, I ignited. This is not a passing moment. It's a holy shift that reaches beyond time. You're not getting a small improvement. You're being positioned in purpose that touches everything around you. This is not a seasonal blessing. It's a place of influence shaped before the world began. The pull you feel is not coincidence. It is heaven's timing meeting your surrender. What rises was delayed, not denied, while I arranged more than you knew. People, moments, layers of identity to prepare you for this release. I bring you in not as a visitor, but as one who belongs. You're not trying to fit anymore. You're stepping into what fits you. The change is deeper than others can see. It's not only your environment, it's your authority, perspective, and posture. You are not who you were. The shift began within and now flows into everything you touch. This is not recovering what was lost. It is the birth of what has not been seen. You will enter rooms carrying clarity. You will speak and atmospheres will respond. What you carry now is revelation, not just experience. I have placed something weighty in you that cannot be contained by small spaces. This is why old places felt tight. You weren't shrinking. You were outgrowing limits I never asked you to stay in. The tension was not rejection, it was transition. The discomfort pushed you into readiness. Do not compare this to old favor. This is not a repeat, it's an unveiling. The acceleration you sense is because you reached the threshold of my appointed time. What seemed late is arriving on time. This is not about short-term lift, it's about legacy. What I do through you will mark more than your journey. Others will gain strength from your story. The oil formed in pressing will pour to heal and bring hope. You are stepping into what is eternal. It has always been in motion and now meets your obedience. Let go of the need to explain to those who can't perceive it. This move is confirmed by my spirit within you. Receive it without delay. Trust it without outside validation. You are stepping into a current that flows from my throne. A flood of fulfillment, not a trickle. It has begun and it will not be stopped. All through your waiting, I never turned away. You were never left to wander alone. I was near, attentive, guiding you in ways you couldn't always see. While others moved ahead, you were not behind. Your path required a level of shaping that cannot be rushed. There are assignments on your name with generational reach. People tied to your future are being aligned too. You couldn't see it all, but none of it has been random. The weight of what I'm giving could not sit on a shaky base. That's why I took my time, building strength in you to carry purpose with integrity, clarity, and grace. Every delay carried meaning. Every closed door held protection. I saw farther than you could. I kept things out of reach to protect what is holy. It's not that you weren't ready enough. It's that what I prepared needed to mature in you and around you. Relationships, calling, influence, spiritual authority, all had to align with heaven's order, not human timelines. While others measured progress by what they could see, I measured yours by surrender. You weren't overlooked, you were hidden on purpose. I covered you when exposure would have harmed you. I kept you in smaller circles when visibility would have distracted or distorted you. Now, there's a depth in you that could come no other way. That depth makes this unfolding sacred. I am not just answering prayers. I am unveiling a season that carries my presence in ways you have not known. The maturity I've grown in you will show in how you move, speak, and discern. What felt distant will feel natural, because placement is not only external, it is internal readiness. I've taught you to be steady, resist pressure, wait without bitterness, discern without harshness, love without losing fire. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Now the release matches the holiness of that process. You are entering what serves not only you but my larger purpose. This is why we didn't rush. The holy cannot be treated as common. What comes now carries my breath, signature, and timing. Let go of comparison and every voice that said it should have happened sooner. It is happening now because now is right. As it unfolds, you'll see the delay was precision. Step forward, not timidly, but with the certainty that I've gone ahead. The way is no longer unclear. The barriers are removed. What stands before you is unlocked by my hand. You don't need permission from doubting voices. You don't need to apologize for being chosen. This gate is not random. It is the fruit of your trust, unseen sacrifice, and quiet obedience. This is not just an opportunity, it's a commission. Don't only observe, enter fully, with confidence in the one who sent you. From here, your steps sync with a heavenly rhythm that draws you deeper into the space I made for you. You are not late, you are right on time. Do not shrink back. Do not let echoes of past failure question your place. This gate did not open to tease you. It opened because the fullness of time has come. The patience, discernment, depth, and faith grown in silence now equip you to steward what's beyond the threshold. As you cross, things will change. Pace, people, purpose. My fingerprints will be everywhere, proof that this is grace, not ambition. Walk differently, not with pride, but with holy boldness. Your confidence is not in what you've done, but in what I've called you. You are stepping into a flow where you no longer strain to make things happen. You will see things fall into place because my breath is on them. What once required force will respond to faith. What felt far will meet you where you are. This confidence is not arrogance, it is awareness that you are sent. When questions rise, you will answer with clarity. When opposition shows up, you will stand in peace. When opportunities appear, you will know which carry my fragrance. You will not be swayed by flattery or fear. You are anchored by my voice, and that voice has spoken. This is your moment, not because you pushed into it, but because I lifted you. You enter not to prove yourself, but to fulfill what was written. Every step through this open gate has purpose. Every conversation, encounter, and assignment is part of my unfolding. I am with you. I will guide you with precision, instruct you in quiet, protect you from traps others fall into. This hour is holy. This gate is set apart, and you have been made ready for it. What was in motion is now coming to rest where it belongs. No more waiting for what I spoke. It is not drifting in unseen halls. It has arrived, and its destination is you. This blessing is not vague. It was shaped for your story. It fits the contours of your journey, your choices, and your heart during valleys you did not choose but walked with faith. You won't need to question if it's truly for you. The evidence will meet your deepest needs and touch places you never voiced, proving I saw everything. You will sense how near the promise is, not because it shouts, but because it fits, like a lock meeting its key. You are not borrowing another's breakthrough or receiving something generic. You are receiving what was carved with your purpose and soaked in the oil of your hidden surrender. I remember how you praised with little. I remember your gratitude in the quiet. This arrival is my response, the visible and invisible fruit of trust when the road made no sense. This is not chance or good timing. It is fulfillment, released into you and through you. What I place now lifts you and blesses others. People will see and know this is from me. It will not need promotion. The fruit will speak. That fruit will carry the story of your faith. When you gave with little, forgave while hurting, believed when fear pressed in. This blessing carries legacy. It holds the residue of your history with me. It cannot be mistaken as another's. It is tailored by my hand to the shape of your growth. I do not release portions or send unfinished answers. What arrives is whole and holy. It will not slip away, expire, or be undone by opinions. I will preserve it and give you wisdom to walk in it with humility and authority. You will not feel like you're reaching for what stays out of grasp. You are stepping into possession. You will hold what felt distant, live in what you only imagined, and know this is not accident, but my intentional outpouring on your obedience. Let go of the fear that good things are temporary. This is not a flicker, it is a turning point, and you are already within it. Embrace what has come. It is yours, and it is time. You don't need to study the past to decide if this moment is safe. The door before you is not man-made or held by fragile favor. It is opened by my eternal authority. When I open, it stays open until the fullness of my intent is delivered. No opposition can undo it. No insecurity can disrupt it. No voice, rumor, or shadow of fear can reverse what I declared. You've seen opportunities appear and vanish. This is not that. This opening is steady and sealed with purpose. I didn't invite you here to tease or test you. I opened what was shut to welcome you into what has always been yours. You are not on unstable ground. You are standing on my fulfilled word. Doubts are echoes of old wounds, not signals from me. Quiet them by trusting what I've made plain. Step forward without hesitation. I did not bring you here to question your worth or leave you shaking at the threshold. I unlocked this moment so you could enter and walk in what was reserved through refining. Every surrender, every faithful act, every choice to believe when discouragement pressed, now answers you with access. This is not fragile or uncertain. It is rooted in me, and I do not open what I intend to close without cause. Your part is to trust the invitation. Walk through with assurance that you are not forcing anything. You are aligning with what I already made ready. Hesitation may try to pull you back. Voices saying you're not prepared, didn't do enough, might lose it. Those are not my words. My voice brings peace and clarity, and my voice says, enter. See this not just as transition, but as covenant unfolding. On the other side is not just advancement, but deeper communion with me. As you pass through, you'll find new layers of identity, clearer purpose, and strength for what's ahead. This door leads not only to blessing, but to a steadier you. Your thoughts will shift, your spirit will settle, your steps will steady. Not because life is perfect, but because you're moving in rhythm with my pace. Lift your head. Release shame and doubt left over from the past. You are not who you were. I have grown you. You are not the one who always retreated. I have made you strong. What I open, I sustain. What I start, I complete. Nothing can change that. The door is held in place by my word, and my word does not return empty. Move forward. Don't question what I have confirmed. What you're stepping into has been waiting for your footsteps. I know there are pages of your story that still sting. Seasons without closure, moments that marked you, roads that ended without explanation. You wondered if they mattered or only proved disappointment. What you couldn't see then, you will understand now. Those closed chapters were not endings. They were sealed for a better unveiling. I am redeeming what seemed unfinished. Pain that looked pointless is now woven with purpose that could only be born in this hour. Trials, closed doors, people who left, paths that stopped, now they bow to what I'm opening. They are not your shame or failure. They are foundations. What once lowered your head will now lift it. You will not carry regret like a shadow. You will see with new eyes, eyes that know I permitted even the hard parts with care. I did not leave you in those scenes. I walked beside you in silence. I closed stories so new ones could begin unconflicted. I halted what was good because what I have carries glory beyond your old expectations. Those chapters will shift. Their weight will fade. You'll speak of them with peace, not pain. Your scars will read as strength. Nothing is wasted. Not one tear, detour, or dead end. All now answers the voice of heaven saying, "It's time." I won't erase your past. I will reframe it. You'll see your story was directed, not destroyed. Broken places are rewritten, not by forgetting, but by new meaning. Your past becomes testimony, not chains. What once silenced you will amplify your message. What confused you will sharpen your sight. What felt disqualifying will stand as proof of how far I brought you. As you step into this open space, you'll know your history was not your prison. It was your preparation. What I open, I sustain. What I redeem, I glorify. Do not shrink back when memories surface. See them through my eyes. Grace does not only restore, it redefines. I take what seemed wasted and make it holy. Every closed page now witnesses my hand on your life. Everything is aligning, not just around you, but beneath the surface where I've been working. I'm bringing people into your life who carry what complements what I placed in you. These are not random meetings, but appointments set ahead of time and arriving on schedule. Some names you'll hear, conversations you'll have, doors you'll enter. These are coming not by effort, but by covenant. I made promises about your life, and I keep them by changing circumstances and synchronizing environments to support my word. While you waited, I prepared places that recognize your value. While you healed, I called voices who speak wisdom into your purpose. While you learned deeper trust, I crafted openings where you will be welcomed, not merely tolerated. This next stretch is not lonely. I'm surrounding you with relationships that lift rather than drain. You won't need to prove yourself to the misunderstood. I will seat you among those who discern your heart without long explanations. The striving to be seen ends because I'm placing you where you are known, truly and deeply. Your conversations will carry weight, bring confirmation, and reflect heaven's design. The opportunities will not demand compromise. You won't need to shrink your light to fit. I'm not sending you where you survive. I'm planting you where you thrive. These are not doors opened by influence alone, but by fulfillment of what I said when you had only faith. You trusted me in wilderness. Now I lead you into good ground where your roots stretch and your gifts bear fruit without resistance. Every piece is coming together. The timing will feel almost unreal, not because it's too good, but because it's exactly what I promised. Small details will gain meaning. Encounters that once seemed random will become bridges. I'm not asking you to chase opportunity. Walk with discernment, and I'll bring the right moments to your feet. The scattered pieces are forming a full picture that reveals my faithfulness. You'll walk into spaces that echo what I whispered long ago. You'll see names and places that feel familiar because I showed them to your spirit before your eyes. Nothing is random. I am not just realigning your path. I'm surrounding you with what I designed before the world began. Every connection and direction is responding to my voice. You are stepping into what I spoke, and what I speak, I complete. There is movement around you that your spirit already senses. The heavy air is lifting. Resistance is fading. You're not imagining this. A fresh wind is moving before you, around you, and within you. This is not a mood shift. It is my momentum waking what was dormant. You are entering ease, not because life has no challenges, but because my hand is clearing the way. Hard ground is softening. What felt frozen is thawing. Where confusion ruled, clarity breaks through. I'm breathing life into old places, reviving what seemed out of reach, waking what felt too tired to rise. This shift is a signal. The atmosphere is responding to my authority. Delay gives way to acceleration. Friction gives way to flow. I'm stirring not to alarm you, but to prepare you. You got used to pushing through headwinds. Now I change the climate so what I planted in you thrives. You are not in survival mode anymore. You are stepping into release. Feel the difference. Let your heart recognize what your eyes are learning to see. The shift is here. In doors that open with less effort, peace where anxiety lingered, joy returning after a long fight. My wind is not chaotic, it's alignment. I guide by my breath, not by others' expectations. Old cycles lose power, new rhythms take hold. You don't need to manufacture direction, the wind will carry you. You'll be surprised how fast things unfold, not from rushing but from catching my current. What felt uphill now flows. I'm reversing the pressure. Headwinds turn to tailwinds. This is not a small tweak, it's a holy recalibration. The atmosphere itself is being tuned to my promise over you. And it's not only around you, it's within you. Release the need to know every how and why. Don't resist because it feels new. You prayed for change, embrace it. Don't cling to old routines when my wind is clearly moving. I'm leading you gently and firmly into new territory. Trust the whisper that agrees with my peace. Your discernment will sharpen. Your steps grow certain. Your confidence rise, not from your strength, but from mine guiding the flow. Like a sail catching wind, you will move without forcing it. You'll glide where you strained, advance where you were stuck, not by striving, but by surrender to my current. The shift is real. My spirit is moving and carrying you where I want you. What stands before you is not just a new start, it is a declaration of victory. The resistance you faced was targeted to delay my design, choke what I planted, and fracture what I was building within. Your battles were not small, even if others couldn't see. You were contested because of what you carry. The enemy knew your obedience would unlock what he couldn't stop once it began. That's why pressure grew and warfare intensified. He saw you refuse to quit, choose faith over fear, and keep showing up. That endurance led to this moment where his plans fall to dust. You were not weak because you struggled. You were strong because you continued. Every tactic to confuse, exhaust, or disconnect you is dismantled by my command. He tried to use your past to paralyze your present, stir voices to seed doubt, and disguise distraction as opportunity. Yet you stayed rooted. You came back. You called on me when you didn't feel heard. That surrender invited heaven's authority. I fought what you couldn't see, tore down what you couldn't reach, exposed what you didn't know. Now what stood against your purpose has crumbled. The walls he built around your promise are flat. His whispers hold no weight. The darkness he dangled has lost its grip. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I have been working all along, stripping power from every plan against you. The collapse was not random, it was precise. I let him overplay his hand while I prepared your rise. Now his influence over your future is revoked. He no longer has access to what I declared as yours. The shadows sent ahead of you scatter. Intimidation dissolves. Confusion fades. What was battlefield becomes platform. Where you warred, you will walk free. This is more than relief. It is revelation. You will see what you survived from higher ground. What he aimed to bury you with shows you were preserved. You weren't delayed, you were delivered. Now, movement will be unhindered. Doors will open and stay open. Timing will be right. Burdens will not return because the root is destroyed. This victory is not temporary, it's structural. I removed the scaffolding of sabotage, cleared the residue, reset the spiritual climate. There is no going back. The cycle is broken. He may try to distract, but you will walk in clarity that renders his attempts powerless. I have shielded and established you. Go forward, equipped and steady. What you feared is under your feet. What towered has bowed by my decree. This moment is sealed, not by chance or emotion, but by my sovereign authority. An anointing rests on this hour that nothing can overturn. What I speak over you is not a passing inspiration, it is eternal intention made real. My word does not expire or fade. What I said over your future did not return empty. It moved through seasons, faced resistance, and now arrives ripe, active, ready to manifest. Nothing about this is accidental. It is my plan in action. What I promised meets its moment. This breakthrough is not partial. It covers the places you gave up on and visits corners you kept quiet, proving I have watched every detail. I allowed waiting not as punishment, but as protection. The power of this release required preparation beyond what you could measure. You didn't realize how much I poured into you in the quiet, but now every deposit bears fruit. You'll know this wasn't manufactured or forced. You'll recognize my fingerprints in the timing, the flow, the grace in how it unfolds. Nothing can interrupt what I released. Not opinions, not old doubts, not the missteps you fear. I don't change my word because of your stumbles. I redeem them and fold them into fulfillment. Even seasons you thought wasted now add to the momentum. No voice can overrule what I decree. What I authorize, heaven delivers. I commanded the shift, and it is moving. You'll feel pressure lift, sense alignment without striving. Find yourself in rooms you didn't chase. Hear yes where you heard silence. Feel lighter. Not because life is easy, but because the weight moved from your shoulders to my promise. There's nothing left to undo. No force can roll back what I began. The loop is broken. The delay is under your feet. This is not merely an opening. It is an activation. I lit a fire under what I planted in you. It won't flicker or fade. It will grow, spread, and touch others who are waiting on the sound of your obedience. The breakthrough is for you and through you. You carry it now, evident in your words, your presence, your next steps. I have robed you with clarity, set you in peace, and surrounded you with strength. This hour is marked by my voice, drenched in fulfillment, guarded by my authority. Do not waste energy asking if it's real. You are not dreaming or just hoping. You are witnessing the arrival of what I prepared in the wilderness. No power can rewind what I have released. It is finished, it is final, and it is beginning now. What you once sought as distant proof is already in your atmosphere. You don't need to scan the horizon asking if the time is near. The confirmation you prayed for is here, woven into your daily life. The subtle shifts, the unexpected peace, clarity rising without warning. These are signs with breath. The season of how will I know is over. You know now. You feel it, not just in mind but in spirit. The atmosphere has changed and echoes what I declared. The time has come. For so long you wanted assurance. I gave signs, quiet and bold, to comfort you. But now I'm inviting you out of needing proof and into trust. Not because signs have vanished, but because they are complete. What you have entered carries its own evidence from my spirit. Look at the patterns, the right people, peace where worry ruled, timing that cannot be denied. Creation responds to my timing. As wind shifts before a storm and light changes at dawn, your surroundings realign when breakthrough arrives. Doors swing without force. Conversations turn without manipulation. Draining things fall away, making room for my will. These are not random events. They are living confirmations that my word is performing. You don't need another sign. You're walking inside one. The pull within, the steady knowing, the peace under decisions you don't fully understand. That is me leading where faith meets fulfillment. I'm not hiding. I'm drawing you by the rhythm of what I've aligned. Let the inward witness guide your next step. Trust that you have heard me. Believe the nudges are real. You're not circling anymore. You're advancing on a line I drew. Soon you'll stop asking, "Give me a sign," because you'll realize I made you the sign. Your life, your steps, your obedience are testifying that something holy is unfolding. Others will see your peace and wonder. They'll hear your words and feel conviction. That's because you're no longer waiting on breakthrough. You're carrying it. The sign moved from something you chase to something you live. It's around you and within you. Let it guide you, calm you, and remind you this is not a fleeting burst, but a steady move of my spirit. I heard your longing and answered. Not with a moment, but with a life that declares, the sign is here, alive in you. Settle this deep in your heart. Waiting did not weaken my word. It did not shrink it or water it down. Time did not dilute it. Time strengthened it. I never slowed you to withhold joy. I slowed the pace because the promise carries weight, and weight needs durability. In what I prepared and in who you became. My word is living, and when time tests it, it grows more potent. You assumed delay would mean a smaller arrival. You thought it might soften into something safer. But I do not rewrite my intent to match disappointment. I finish what I start. While you learn to stand, I poured more oil into what would ignite. Each quiet day added refinement, clarity, and resilience. You were not waiting in vain. You were being saturated with grace for what's coming. The longer it seemed quiet, the deeper the roots went. I built a well of peace in you. I crafted strength that won't shake with sudden change. I wasn't ignoring you. I was building the eternal in you. I saw endurance, counted tears, gathered prayers, and sealed them into the promise. Now, as it unfolds, you won't just walk in it. You'll recognize its richness. It is bigger, deeper, and more beautiful, not because I changed my mind, but because I finished the work. If I had rushed, the foundation would crack. Now it is unshakable. The strength of what I release mirrors how long it was hidden. Like treasures formed slowly under pressure, the promise was refined, not ruined. You stayed soft when you could have grown hard. You showed up with an open heart when you felt empty, not one moment wasted. The delay was not defeat. It was set up for what the enemy could not predict. He hoped time would make you quit. Instead, time transformed you. Because you remained, you are ready, not only to receive, but to carry. This is not recycled opportunity. This is the same promise, now strengthened by waiting and multiplied by grace. Do not mourn the delay, understand its purpose. The time you thought lost is redeemed. Dry ground springs to life. The power you feared had faded is about to appear in a way that silences doubt. The promise never left. It grew stronger, and so did you. You are not just at the entrance of opportunity. I'm placing in your hands not only permission to move forward, but authority to reclaim what was taken. Your confidence, clarity, peace, momentum, joy, and sense of belonging. This is not about sneaking in the back door of my promises. You will enter with full weight and rightful inheritance. The days of watching from the sidelines are over. The time of waiting for your turn has ended. I have marked this hour for you to enter and to establish what was lost. I am restoring you, not quietly, but thoroughly. This is not about receiving scraps, it is about fullness. I give keys not to visit, but to occupy. This authority is not born from striving or status, it comes from surrender. You walked through fire without letting bitterness rule. You remained when walking away felt easier. You chose stillness in the storm. Because of that posture, I release a new measure of spiritual authority. It does not fear conflict because it knows who goes before it. You will not be intimidated by resistance. You will remember that my presence in you is greater than what stands against you. What once oppressed you will be under your feet. The places where you once felt small will become stages of strength. You'll notice your prayers carrying real weight. Your insight will sharpen. You'll feel a change in how people respond to you. Not because you chase their approval, but because the mantle on your life speaks in the Spirit. This isn't pride. It's holy alignment. You'll walk into rooms and the atmosphere will shift, not from chasing influence, but because I've trusted you with impact. I've given you authority to declare my will, to speak truth, to move in courage without waiting for permission from those who once missed your worth. I saw the years when your value was questioned. I saw the seasons you gave, served, and believed, yet were misread or ignored. Those moments aren't erased, they're honored. I'm lifting you, not in spite of them, but because of them. The restoration that's coming won't just be visible, it will be undeniable. The authority on you isn't loud, but it's unshakable. You won't need to prove yourself. Your fruit will speak. You won't need to defend your arrival. I will validate your steps. You won't have to fight to hold what I put in your hands, because I'm assigning angels to guard what you carry. You're not going back to something old. You're stepping into what I preserved for you. From this day forward, you'll move with new understanding. You are not only accepted, you are assigned. You are not only welcomed, you are empowered. You are not only receiving, you are recovering. Take back what was taken. It's yours now, not by effort, but by authority. There were times I asked you to move without clarity, to stay when you felt restless, to speak when your voice trembled, and to be silent when your heart burned with questions. You didn't always see the reason, and often wrestled with the unknown. But even in uncertainty, you chose to trust. That trust, formed in quiet places and sustained through unseen battles, became the very key that opens what once seemed unreachable. The door before you didn't respond to effort, strategy, or performance. It responded to obedience. Not the kind that's celebrated, but the kind that happens when no one is watching. The kind that looks like surrender more than success. Every time you chose me over convenience, every time you followed my prompting over preference, you were laying down pieces of that key, piece by piece, moment by moment. That obedience took shape, not because you knew what would happen, but because you trusted the one leading. That is what I've honored, not perfection or full understanding, but your willingness to walk when the path was dim. Obedience built something in the unseen that now shows up in what's opening before you. This isn't just breakthrough. It's the fruit of hidden faithfulness. What's being released can't be duplicated because it was shaped through personal sacrifice that only you and I truly know. Others may see blessing, but I see the backstory. I see the nights you stayed when you wanted to run. I see the yes you gave through tears. I see the courage it took to leave what felt safe but wasn't sacred. I see how you stayed steady when instability surrounded you. Now the weight of that obedience presses against the lock, and it has opened what nothing else could. You'll realize the answer wasn't doing more. It was obeying fully. Quiet obedience spoke louder in heaven than all the noise of self-effort. It was your agreement with my voice, even when it felt soft. It was your response to conviction when no one else held you accountable. That obedience carried authority, and now it releases reward. The opening before you isn't random favor. It's the targeted fulfillment of steps taken in alignment with my direction. You weren't always confident, but you were consistent. You didn't always feel strong, but you kept choosing me. Because of that choice, the gate has opened. It won't close behind you. It won't lead you in circles. It is a passage into purpose that waited for your obedience to mature to this level. You are ready now. Not because you figured everything out, but because you let go of needing to. Obedience unlocks what understanding alone cannot. The path ahead will carry greater ease, not because there's no challenge, but because your obedience has already made a way. The resistance you felt will weaken. The confusion that clouded your judgment will lift. You'll hear me more clearly, not because I changed how I speak, but because obedience tuned your ears. This season won't require striving. It will require alignment. Stay sensitive to my instruction, quick to respond, open to correction, and you'll walk in continued favor. Obedience isn't a one-time act, it's a way of living, and you've learned it well. So take this key, formed in surrender, and walk through what I've unlocked. Let the certainty of this moment quiet every doubt. What you're stepping into didn't come from a sudden opportunity. It came from every decision to follow me when it cost you something. The reward isn't just access, it's alignment. It's movement without friction, clarity where there was fog. This is what obedience releases, and this is what you now carry. Every quiet surrender, every unnoticed decision to trust me when you could have turned away, that's where heaven leaned in. You thought no one saw. You assumed those hidden, yes, Lord moments faded into the background. Not one escaped my attention. I recorded them not as small responses, but as declarations of trust that carried weight in the spirit. They weren't wasted. They weren't overlooked. What was sealed in private is being honored in ways that can no longer be contained behind closed doors. You gave me your yes when it cost you. You surrendered opportunities others chased. You chose me over recognition, comfort, and even understanding. You followed me into unfamiliar places with only faith to hold. That level of surrender becomes soil where favor grows, not for applause, but for purpose. I am responding to every sacred agreement you made in stillness, not with mere acknowledgement, but with action. I bring visibility not to feed pride, but to confirm what I approved in the secret place. Doors will open that you never knocked on. People will notice the fragrance of grace on your life, not because you asked for attention, but because my hand on you cannot be ignored. Favor will follow your steps, not because of who you know, but because of what you carried in the unseen. My grace moves with you, before, beside, and behind. You won't have to explain yourself, defend your path, or prove your purpose. I will confirm. I will speak through outcomes. I will validate what I whispered when no one else heard. Those who questioned your motives will wonder how you endured and still stand. Those who left when life grew quiet will see me surround you with support that doesn't fade. I'm sending people who recognize the anointing, who understand your spirit, who won't require you to shrink to belong. This isn't about popularity, it's about placement. I'm seating you at tables where grace leads, not ego, where your voice is valued, not silenced, where the weight you carry is seen, not questioned. Public favor won't be separate from your private surrender. It will be the result of it. You didn't chase status, you chased me. Now I'm bringing alignment that mirrors your heart. Opportunities will come built on conviction, not compromise. Open doors won't demand performance, but authenticity. I saw you show up when nothing seemed to shift. I saw you walk when the path was lonely. The hidden faithfulness is about to bear undeniable fruit. You won't fight for position or manufacture access. I am making room. I am establishing you. Let this season remind you I don't forget. What you gave me in silence, I reward with substance. What you offered in the valley, I amplify on the mountain. Not to glorify you, but to reveal what I can do with a surrendered heart. My grace won't stop at your life. It will spill into every space you enter. Favor will flow into your words, your work, your relationships, your influence, and none of it will be forced. It will reflect my presence. Walk humbly and boldly. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. I am revealing in public what I treasured in private, and no one will deny what I've done. The moment you thought everything was falling apart, the one that took your breath and made you wonder if you could go on, that very place is about to showcase my faithfulness. I haven't ignored the ashes or bypassed the debris. I have chosen it. The ground where you broke, wept, and ran out of strength is the place I will reveal my glory. What felt like the end becomes the foundation of a beginning, so strong it will silence every lie spoken over you. I build from places others discard. The wreckage you wanted to escape becomes the soil where I plant new vision. I don't abandon what's broken, I rebuild it, not just to replace what was lost, but to form something stronger than before. Your weakness didn't disqualify you, it positioned you. What was meant to bury you becomes the place I will raise you. You see ruins, I see a runway. You see failure, I see what's about to fly. I'm not ashamed of what broke you. I entered that space, not to observe from afar, but to begin something sacred. You didn't see me because the pain was loud, but I was close, gathering fragments, tears, and confusion. I was collecting what you wanted to throw away, not to replay the hurt, but to write purpose. Where you fell will be known as where you rose, not by your strength, but by mine lifting you. What felt like isolation was me removing distractions. What looked like failure was the soil of resurrection. From this place, I'll cause life to grow again. Clarity, strength, favor, and calling. The pain that questioned your worth becomes the platform where your voice will carry. People will wonder how you made it through, and the answer will be simple. I was with you in the breakdown, and I am with you in the rebuilding. Not a moment wasted. Not a tear unnoticed. I've marked this ground as holy. Your launching place doesn't need polish. It needs surrender. You yielded when you didn't understand. You surrendered when fighting felt easier. You opened your heart to healing when shutting down seemed safer. Now I'm doing what only I can, turning loss into legacy, wounds into wisdom, chaos into commission. You don't have to hide the place of your breakdown or clean it up for acceptance. What I'm about to do from that place will speak louder than any explanation. Stand where you collapsed. Lift your eyes from the floor where you thought it was over. Look again, not with sorrow, but with expectation. I'm making the broken place beautiful, not by erasing what happened, but by resurrecting what can still come from it. From where you cried, I'm sending strength. From where you shattered, I'm calling forth what will soar, and nothing can stop it. I rebuild from ruins and launch from low places. This is the ground I've chosen. From here we rise. This is not just change or another phase. It's fulfillment. You aren't wandering into something random. You're walking into what I designed before you knew to ask. I shaped it with every detail of your identity in mind. This isn't leftover blessing. This is a space that matches your spirit, assignment, capacity, and the maturity formed through surrender. You imagine possibilities, but they don't compare to what I reserved for you. Not because you were perfect, but because I was faithful to the promise attached to your life before time named a day. This new place won't require you to force your way in. It will welcome you. You won't feel out of place because I built it with your voice and steps in mind. Everything unfolding will carry a sense of holy familiarity. Not because you've seen it, but because your spirit recognizes what I formed for you. I didn't only consider your strengths. I accounted for your wounds. I didn't just see your gifts. I saw your growth. This season doesn't fit who you were. It fits who you've become through trials, lonely nights, and choices to keep trusting when logic said let go. The timing is exact. You were shaped by fire, refined by silence, emptied of counterfeits so I could fill you with the authenticity needed to carry this calling. Now the fit is perfect. What once would have overwhelmed you, you're equipped to steward. I don't place what's sacred into unready hands. You yielded to preparation without demanding proof. Because of that, what opens now won't just fit. You'll feel at home in it. Don't second guess what's rising. Don't disqualify yourself because of the road you walked. Your journey was factored into this promise. I'm not giving you what you barely qualify for. I'm giving you what you were born to inhabit. You weren't made to mimic another path or settle for safe. You were created for something uniquely yours, and now it's being unveiled. There's no competition or comparison. What I've prepared has room only for your name. You don't need to prove your worth to step in. Recognize it's prepared in love, built on grace, sealed with purpose. You're not walking in alone. I go before you. I secured the foundation, cleared the atmosphere, arranged support, and aligned resources. Everything is moving into position so you don't just survive. You thrive in what I place in your care. The right voices will confirm what I've spoken. The right environments will nurture growth. The right doors will open and stay steady under your feet. What used to be too much will feel manageable. What felt like reaching will feel like belonging. That's how you'll know, this is what I made for you. You're not starting from scratch. You're stepping into a prepared place, a portion of my will that waited for your readiness. Now that you've arrived, it meets you with ease, purpose, and peace that only comes when something fits by design, not force. This is not just new, it's holy, and it's yours. Everything you assumed was beyond repair. Moments that slipped through your hands, seasons that ended without closure, doors that closed too soon, is being addressed by my hand. I'm not limited by clocks and calendars. What seems gone for good is still within reach for me. I don't call something finished because it fell apart. I restore in fullness, not fragments. What you believed could never return is being reordered, reassembled, and released in a way that surpasses what it was. Time consumed by delays, missteps, and confusion, I'm giving it back in ways you will feel. I won't just make you forget the pain of lost years, I'll redeem them. What was wasted in sorrow will multiply in strength. What striving drained will be replenished by divine flow. You'll see things come together faster than you expected. Not because you rushed, but because I accelerated healing. I'm restoring with interest. What the enemy used to steal time, I'm using to bring glory through you. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is too far gone. I'm reclaiming years you thought had no return. Even energy taken by long battles is being renewed. Where exhaustion ruled, vitality rises. Where numbness lingered, you'll feel again, not overwhelmed, but strengthened. You won't wake up heavy. The tiredness clinging to your soul is lifting. Your thoughts will feel lighter, your heart more open, your mind less cluttered. I'm restoring what was drained, not with temporary relief, but lasting renewal. You don't have to earn this replenishment, you'll simply walk in it. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Step by step, peace will flow where tension screamed. The peace you tried to manufacture on your own becomes your portion, quieting the noise that filled your spirit too long. The unanswered questions, the fears that tightened your chest, the overthinking that stole rest. I am calming it all. My peace isn't shallow, it reaches deep. It silences internal storms and builds steady assurance even when circumstances are unclear. You're about to feel the difference. Where there was torment, there will be stillness. Not because the world changed, but because I placed my hand on your heart and spoke peace. Even the opportunities you think you missed, doors you regret not entering, chances that felt once in a lifetime, are being replaced with better ones that fit who you've become. You won't have to chase them. They'll find you. You won't feel behind. You'll move as if you never missed a beat, because I've restored what you couldn't access then. My timing isn't punishment. It's preservation. This restoration won't be subtle. It will be undeniable. Those who knew the tired, burdened, disappointed version of you will see something different and won't be able to explain it. They'll see joy in your eyes and clarity in your voice, that only healing can produce, and they'll know it's me. You're not imagining it. Recovery has begun. Not only are you getting back what was lost, you're receiving what you didn't know was missing. This is divine restoration. Personal, powerful, already in motion. Places that once turned you away, overlooked you, or misjudged you won't hold you back anymore. Environments that couldn't see your value are being revisited, but this time with my authority covering you. You won't return as the one who felt unseen. You won't walk in wondering if you belong. You'll carry the weight of my presence, and what refused to make room will recognize the shift. The atmosphere will respond, not because you begged for validation, but because I went before you and made crooked places straight. You aren't coming back to prove anyone wrong. You're walking in because it's time. I'm not sending you for revenge, but for redemption. What felt like rejection was redirection. I pulled you out to protect what was still maturing. Now that timing and heart are aligned, you'll see how different it feels. The doors that were locked are opening to welcome, not test. You're not there to beg for a place. You're walking in with confidence, knowing I reserved it for this moment. Faces that dismissed you will speak differently. They won't know what changed, but you will. You grew in silence. You were refined without applause. You learned to trust me deeply while waiting outside spaces tied to your calling. The waiting wasn't wasted. It prepared you. It stripped performance and pressure. Now you won't need applause to confirm your presence. You'll carry a quiet assurance that can't be faked. You'll feel it in your posture, hear it in the flow of conversations, see it as things align without striving. I'm not only giving access, I'm giving influence. Not the kind the world celebrates, but holy influence rooted in humility, discernment, and purpose. The rooms you enter won't be about spotlight, but assignment. You'll be there for something bigger than recognition, to bring truth, release peace, carry light where compromise dimmed it. You'll know how to move because you're no longer trying to fit in. You're simply being who I formed you to be. Your presence won't be tolerated, it will be needed. Those who ignored you will seek your insight. Those who labeled you will look to you for clarity. This isn't about proving worth, it's living from the worth I placed in you. You won't shrink to keep peace. You won't dilute your message to gain acceptance. You've walked through too much to settle for shallow approval. You were shaped for depth, meaning, and legacy. If your heart wonders why it had to happen this way, why rejection first, why such long waiting, remember, it wasn't rejection, it was preservation. I shielded your gift from places not ready to honor it. I removed you so their influence wouldn't reshape you into what you're not. Now you return not as expected, but as I created. Walk in, not with bitterness, but with boldness. Take your place, not with arrogance, but with reverence. The same rooms that dismissed you will recognize you're not there by chance, but by divine placement. They will make space, not because they finally see your value, but because my hand on you is unmistakable. It's time. Nothing will stop what I've assigned. The doors are open, the space is ready, and you, fully transformed, are walking in with purpose. What you're about to step through wasn't assembled by human effort or coincidence. It's not the product of influence or striving. This door is the work of my hands. It wasn't mass-produced. It was crafted with care, forged in precision, refined by the heat of your journey. I didn't shape it in comfort. I carved it through the very trials you thought would break you. The fire didn't consume your future. It formed it. The pressure didn't crush you, it prepared you. Now you stand before a doorway of destiny, chiseled in seasons of pain but filled with purpose only heaven could write. This door holds meaning. It stands as evidence of endurance when everything in you wanted to quit. It remembers nights you chose prayer over bitterness. It remembers mornings you rose when hope felt far. I was there, not as a distant observer, but as a potter, smoothing edges, strengthening the frame. Every hardship added detail. Every disappointment carved depth. Every tear soaked the wood with surrender. Now it's strong, beautiful, and ready because it was made through a process with eternal intention. No shortcut could have produced what has emerged. I allowed flames not to punish you, but to burn away what wouldn't last, false dependencies, the need to control expectations not rooted in me. I removed them not to leave you empty, but to make you whole. This door isn't just about access, it's alignment. It doesn't just let you in, it confirms you're standing in the right place, at the right time, with the right spirit. Some won't understand why it's happening now, or how it seems sudden, but you'll know it wasn't sudden. It was slow, sacred, sovereign. I worked while you waited, refined while you wept, drew the blueprint while you surrendered outcomes you couldn't control. Now that you've made peace with the process, I'm ushering you into what could only be built beyond perseverance. You may still feel the heat of what you walked through. Scars may tingle, memories may rise. They're not weakness. They're proof that the fire didn't take you, it transformed you. What you carry now is more than gifts. It's wisdom. You won't walk through blindly. You'll walk knowing who you are, whose you are, and why you're chosen to carry what's on the other side. Let this door remind you nothing you endured was wasted. Let it stand as a monument that I do my best work in the middle of the fire. Let it quiet every doubt that says you missed your time. You haven't. You've arrived at the threshold right on schedule. This time you pass through not with striving but with rest. You don't need to knock. I've opened it. You don't need to force. It was made for you. You won't turn back. This door swings one way, forward. Take the step. The door is ready. It bears your journey's fingerprints and my signature. It's not generic or borrowed. It's yours, built by me. Marked by grace, sealed in fire, now fully open. I know how long you've waited for clarity, not vague encouragement, but unmistakable direction. You asked me in secret, is this really you? You wanted assurance that what you're sensing and carrying is truly from me. I heard every request. I saw the weight you put on decisions. I watched you wait for confirmation that would settle your spirit. Hear me. I won't leave you guessing. I won't keep you in limbo. What's next will be so aligned, so tailored to details only I know, that you'll have no choice but to say, this is God. You won't search for signs in shadows or force meaning into empty spaces. What I reveal will come with timing and precision that cut through confusion. You'll be in the right place at the right moment when a word is spoken that mirrors what you prayed in silence. You'll receive a message that answers a prayer you never voiced. You'll walk into situations that feel like they've been waiting for you, because they have. I prepared confirmations that bypass logic and speak to your spirit. They won't pressure you, they'll ground you. They'll strengthen resolve and confirm what's rising within. Words others speak will carry my tone. Actions toward you will bear my fingerprint. These aren't coincidences. They are orchestrated echoes of what I already whispered. When they come, something in you will stand still in recognition. You'll remember past moments you nearly gave up, and see how I was setting these confirmations in motion. Nothing is random. Every conversation, connection, repeated phrase, and open door plays into a pattern I wrote to assure you you're not walking blind. I'll be direct. No room for vague interpretation. I'll address concerns with clarity and settle doubts with precision. The nudges will grow stronger. Nothing I confirm will contradict my word. It will agree with it and expand your understanding. You'll realize you're not only being protected, you're being led. You aren't being dragged, you're being guided. And that guidance will come with visible markers, each like a lamp lighting the path. This isn't about signs for signs' sake. It's about building confidence in your steps. You were faithful when you couldn't see. Now I'm rewarding that faith with clarity that fear can't distort. Confirmations will come with instruction. They'll carry weight, shift your inner atmosphere, and activate what's been asleep. Courage, insight, strategy, peace. You won't need others to validate what I have. When I speak, fog lifts. When I move, everything makes room. Your spirit will know, and you'll remember these moments as turning points. Stay open. Pay attention to what repeats and resonates and arrives right on time. I'm speaking, and now I'm confirming in ways uniquely crafted for you. When you see and hear it, don't hesitate. Follow, because I don't confirm what I don't intend to fulfill. What's revealed will prove it's me, and it's time. There were moments you questioned me, not because you stopped believing, but because the silence felt heavy and the road felt long. You didn't walk away, but you wondered if I had. You didn't deny me, but you asked why I felt distant. I saw the wrestle between faith and fear, the fatigue that made you hesitate before hoping again. Even then, I never turned my face. I didn't alter your blueprint or reduce what I planned. My love didn't flicker, it stayed steady, unfazed by your questions. I never asked for perfection, I asked for your heart. Even trembling, it kept turning toward me. While you worried that doubt set you back, I watched endurance grow. You thought I'd step away when you questioned, but I leaned closer. I wasn't intimidated by confusion. I understood exhaustion. I didn't scold you for being unsure. I embraced you in it. I knew you still held on, even if your grip weakened. I didn't rewrite your future because the road darkened. What I spoke still stands. Your questions didn't push you from purpose. They drew you deeper into it. Where your certainty ends, grace begins. Where answers stop, my presence fills the gap. I never needed you to figure it all out. I wanted you to keep coming back, doubts in hand. Your love isn't proven by never questioning. It shows in staying in the conversation. That's what I saw. That's why I never withdrew. You whispered prayers unsure they'd change anything, but you stayed. That honest ache to remain close without clarity allowed me to work deeper. Type yes if you are ready for the blessings that you are about to receive. And if you believe in Christianity, kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. You aren't disqualified because you doubted. Your vulnerability let me touch places pride would lock. You opened your hands when you had no answers. I filled them with mercy. That's why you feel stronger, not because you never doubted, but because you learned I didn't leave when you did. I didn't hold your questions against you. I held you inside them. My love stayed anchor while the storm lied about my nearness. As things unfold that you didn't expect to still be possible, remember, they're not happening because you were always confident, but because I was always faithful. You didn't ruin anything by wondering. Your honesty gave me something to build on. I don't create from your strength, I create from your surrender. Even when you didn't know how to continue, you kept coming back. That was your offering. That was obedience. Release the guilt that your doubt delayed everything. Nothing is behind. I wove redemption through low moments, pauses, and quiet cries. My love never wavered. The promise ahead remains, unchanged, intact, waiting. Not because you never questioned me, but because I never stopped loving you. You grew familiar with waiting. Progress felt like inches, slow and unseen. You prayed, pressed, and hoped through long stillness, wondering if anything changed. Now the pace is shifting. The atmosphere aligns with my release. What once trickled will arrive in succession. Not because you earned more favor, but because the appointed time has met your faith. This is more than a single breakthrough. It's a steady flow of my goodness, one after another, in patterns so clear they silence every lie. Miracles are no longer distant, they're becoming your reality. You'll see answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. Doors once sealed will open without explanation. Conversations will carry divine opportunity. Provision will appear in unexpected forms. Resources, relationships, instructions. Moments align so perfectly, your only response will be worship. This isn't hype, it's the fruit of endurance. These miracles aren't random, they are ripples of promises long set to arrive, now released. What's coming won't overwhelm, it will stabilize. You won't chase blessing, it will meet you. One wave will confirm the next, each reinforcing the last. You'll know this isn't luck or a window that might close. It's the unveiling of what I built beneath the surface. As waves return to shore, so my hand will keep moving without pause. You won't force or earn it. You'll walk with me and learn life under an open heaven. A divine rhythm is beginning, one that brings rest, not pressure. As each miracle arrives, it won't pull you off course. It will root you deeper in peace. You'll stop measuring progress by how hard you work and start measuring by how faithfully you listen. Miracles will confirm, not distract. They'll feel familiar because your spirit expected them. You prepared when nothing moved. You praised when nothing shifted. You stayed in position when others ran ahead. The reward isn't one moment, it's a sustained wave of answered prayers. People will notice how quickly, how seamlessly it seems to unfold, and you'll know it isn't sudden, it's finally visible. The miracles were forming all along, stirred by my word. Now they arrive in waves no one can stop. You won't be swept away. You'll be rooted deeper in identity, purpose, and grace. This overflow won't confuse. It will clarify who I said you are, what I said you do, and why I chose you. Let the rhythm restore hope. Let it remind you I'm not finished. Let it raise your expectation for yourself and for others, because what begins in you will spill out around you. You will be a living testimony, not because of titles, but because your life carries the rhythm of my hand. Stay grounded, ready, surrendered. The waves are coming, not to knock you down, but to lift you up, one after another, with perfect timing. They're already on the way. There was a time you spoke and felt unheard. Your words fell unnoticed, questioned, or dismissed. You carried truth, but when you shared it, it seemed to vanish. The silence after obedience confused you. You wondered if you were wrong, if timing was off, or if your voice didn't matter. I wasn't dismissing your voice, I was shaping it. I refined not only vocabulary but heart posture. I made sure when you spoke again it wouldn't come from insecurity or frustration, but from clarity. That season has ended. The days of being unheard are over. Your voice is rising, not as noise but as power. What you say won't drift and fade. It will take root and stir what's been stagnant, because I've put weight on your words. Spiritual density. What you release will carry presence. It won't echo into emptiness. It will land with purpose. The words I give you will move hearts, shift rooms, and disrupt patterns that kept others bound. You won't need to raise your volume. The spirit behind your voice will speak louder than sound. This is not about platforms. It's about alignment with heaven. You've learned not to speak to fill space, but to speak with intention. That discipline, restraint, and deep listening created a clear channel for my words. Now, as you speak, heaven agrees. Chains break. Fear melts. Clarity enters where confusion reigned. Not because you mastered communication, but because your mouth is surrendered to me. I'm healing the inner narrative that told you to stay quiet. The voice that whispered, "No one is listening," is being silenced. In its place, I'm planting holy confidence, not arrogance. One demands attention, the other releases truth and trusts me with impact. You're called to speak to dry places, to declare over situations others abandoned, to call things into alignment with what I revealed in the quiet. What felt like your weakest expression will become your strongest offering, not because you shout louder, but because you speak from stillness. This authority comes from time with me, from knowing me, from walking through pain and choosing love, from enduring silence and still speaking hope. Your voice carries evidence, your story and mine. When you open your mouth, it won't be for reaction, but for release, carrying heaven's tone. Don't underestimate what happens when you speak again. It may look simple, an encouraging word, gentle truth, a quiet prayer, but in the spirit, it breaks chains, opens doors, lifts burdens, redirects someone at the edge. I'm breathing on your voice with clarity, conviction, and peace. You won't wonder if you're making a difference. You'll see it, and I'll confirm it. Speak when I lead, how I lead. Don't measure your voice by applause, measure it by obedience. If I tell you to declare, declare. If I tell you to whisper, whisper. Your voice no longer bounces off resistance. It cuts through. It carries weight. It won't be ignored because it's no longer yours alone. It's mine flowing through you. And heaven is listening. You've been preparing for one door, one opportunity, one moment you imagined would change everything. I honor your faith for breakthrough, but know this. What I'm doing goes far beyond what you expected. I'm not opening a narrow path for you to squeeze through. I'm removing barriers. I'm taking the hinges off systems that boxed you in and made you doubt. This isn't one small opening. It's overflow across every area I've touched. I'm coming after every locked place, not just where you prayed for movement, but even where you silently gave up hope. That relationship buried in sorrow. That dream you assumed was over. That need you pushed aside because it hurt to hope. Yes, those two. I'm reaching into every corner. Doors aren't just swinging open, they're being dismantled so fear, doubt, or the voices that said never can't shut them again. What I release is permanent. What I remove can't be rebuilt. What I build can't be reversed. You walked through limitation, not to restrict you, but to protect what I was preparing. Now I'm pouring out answers on every side. No area will be untouched. I'm bringing clarity where there was fog, health where weakness lingered, resources for purpose, not status. The shift will be so complete you won't just feel relieved. You'll feel redefined. You'll wake differently, walk with a new posture, and speak from knowing, not guessing. This isn't just an open door. It's a divine flood. I'm not doing this in secret. What was hidden is being revealed in plain sight. People will wonder how it turned so quickly, but you'll know it wasn't sudden, it was ready. This abundance didn't appear from nowhere. It arrived from the storehouses of heaven waiting for mine now, and now has come. The time for rationed hope is over. You're moving from survival to surplus, from just enough to more than enough. Not to hoard, but to share. Not to flaunt, but to steward. Every door I'm removing has a story, some built by disappointment, some reinforced by trauma, some locked by shame, fear, or false identity. I'm addressing each one. I'm not only granting access, I'm removing what blocked your sight, confidence, and capacity. No more watching others from behind walls. No more waiting for permission to rise. I'm not just giving room, I'm expanding territory. Boundaries that hemmed you in are lifting. The space around you increases because what I'm pouring out can't be contained by old dimensions. This abundance isn't for a moment, it's for legacy. I'm releasing it so what starts with you will extend far beyond you. Your children, your circle, even strangers will be affected by what I'm doing. I'm multiplying impact. You're not just being blessed, you're becoming a blessing. You're not just receiving, you're becoming a channel. The increase is prophetic, preparing the way for others to see what's possible when a surrendered life meets divine timing. So don't limit your prayers to a single outcome. Stretch your faith. Make room in heart, mind, and plans. I'm releasing more than you asked, imagined, or believed could arrive at once. I'm not handing you keys, I'm removing hinges. When I remove something, no force in hell or earth can put it back. This is full access, irreversible abundance. Heaven saying nothing is off limits anymore. A shift has occurred not only on earth but in the unseen courts where verdicts are issued. Before you felt it outwardly, something moved in heaven's chambers. Records with your name, assignments pending, justice waiting. The accuser brought up your past as evidence against your future, stacking failures and weaknesses as if they could cancel purpose. But I stood as your advocate and covering. When your name was spoken, so was mine. Judgment was rendered, not with condemnation but restoration, not with shame but authority. What was pending is no longer in limbo. What was tied up in resistance has been released by my word. Chains that drained hope have been broken by divine decree. I overruled opposition and silenced voices that tried to block what's yours. I didn't forget obedience, overlook tears, or ignore the pain of waiting. All of it came before me as evidence of faith. Understand the weight of this ruling. It wasn't led by emotion or timing, it was based on covenant. I didn't declare this shift because you finally got it all right. I declared it because I have always been for you. Now I'm making it known in undeniable ways. There is no appeal. No force can overturn this. The gavel has struck. The matter is settled. Heaven has released what was always yours, and nothing can stop it from reaching your hands now. This is why sudden changes begin. What stalled will move. Conversations once closed will reopen with momentum. Where there was resistance, favor will rest. Where doors seemed blocked, they'll swing open without effort. This is not coincidence, it's justice unfolding. Not justice as the world sees it, but divine recompense. I'm restoring what was taken and the time lost while you waited. Where you sowed in tears, you'll reap in joy. Where delay marked your path, acceleration will overtake it. The pace increases not to overwhelm, but to catch you up to what was written. You're not behind or starting over. You're being placed exactly where you belong, right on time, with nothing missing. I'm redeeming everything, Even seasons that looked stagnant built the depth you'll need for what's next. Receive this with confidence. Walk as one vindicated, not with arrogance, but with clarity. You don't need to apologize for blessing or downplay restoration. This isn't luck, it's my ruling in real time. It won't be delayed again. You'll feel the shift. People who questioned your direction will see results they can't deny. You won't have to persuade, fruit will speak. You won't have to force. I've sent angels to ensure what's coming finds you without obstruction. You won't chase it. It's being delivered by divine order. Lift your eyes. Square your shoulders. This isn't a day of maybe. This is manifestation. What was stuck is set free. What was withheld is in motion. Heaven's courtroom has ruled, and everything that once said no now bows to my yes. Walk forward knowing the case is closed. It is done, and it's yours. This time what you step into won't tease you. It won't vanish like a shadow when you reach for it. Hope stretched you, refined you, and changed you. Now understand, this is not another season of waiting. It's the moment hope crosses into reality. You're not standing at the edge anymore. You're entering what you dared to believe could come. It's not fragile or uncertain, it's fulfillment. It's my word made visible in your life, built on a foundation of faith, watered by tears, held by grace. Fulfillment isn't a feeling, it's substance. It doesn't depend on perfect circumstances. It depends on me, and I don't fail. What I promised, I preserved. What I preserved, I now place in your hands. You'll feel the difference. You'll wake and sense the weight of waiting lift. You'll breathe easier, not because everything is perfect, but because you'll know you're finally living inside what once lived only in prayer. You were faithful with vision. You carried the unseen with integrity. Others didn't understand your restraint or refusal to settle, but I saw. You didn't rush or force my hand. You waited, even when it cost opportunities and certainty. Now you're entering the place where what you held within unfolds without. No more rehearsing. It's here. It won't fall short of what I spoke. It will exceed what you pictured, because pain once limited your view. I've expanded you. Now you're ready for the fullness, not just the promise. You don't need to brace for disappointment. This won't repeat what hurt you. It won't echo false starts or collapsed hopes. What I'm doing has depth and strength. It has my breath, and it will hold. You'll feel secure, not merely in what you see, but in what you know. I am faithful, I am near, and I finish what I start. Even when you doubted yourself, I kept building. Even when you wondered if anything was happening, I kept aligning. Now your surroundings will reflect what your spirit already knows. People will treat you differently, not because you changed tone, but because fulfillment commands respect. You will enter spaces that once felt too big and realize they now fit. You'll speak with clarity, not because you rehearsed, but because you lived it. This isn't just a new chapter. It's the chapter where promise becomes portion. Nothing can take it. You don't need to explain why now. Walk forward in peace. You're not dreaming. You're stepping into the completed work I began in secret. You were faithful with fragments, now I give fullness. You sowed in faith, now you harvest in joy. This isn't good timing, it's holy timing. It was always coming for you. Don't shrink back. Don't hunt for flaws in what I made whole. Don't expect disappointment where I guaranteed delivery. Fulfillment isn't fragile, it's fortified. It's been waiting for you as you waited for it. Walk boldly. Breathe deeply, live fully. You're not just hoping, you're living in what I promised. It will not disappoint. For a long time, what I placed in your spirit grew quietly. You didn't always recognize its magnitude. At times it felt dormant, distant, or incomplete. I wasn't late or absent. I was waiting for the right conditions until your heart could carry the weight of the fire I'd release. You weren't empty. You were being filled with something sacred. Now, the stirring you feel isn't imagination, it's ignition. This isn't a burst of motivation, it's spiritual activation. I'm awakening what's been buried: gifts, assignments, revelation, strategy, words you didn't know you had permission to speak. You thought certain dreams died or seasons passed, but what slept was not lifeless. It was resting until I said now. And now everything shifts. You'll feel it in your words, steps, and desires. Hesitation turns to boldness. What felt heavy now feels like destiny. I'm not just calling you, I'm releasing what I planted. The ignition won't be subtle. You'll notice a holy restlessness that doesn't wear you out but wakes you up. Connections will become clear, ideas will flow, insight will deepen. The path that was fuzzy will show step by step. This isn't your mind racing, it's my spirit revealing. I'm removing fog and blockages, breaking layers of doubt and fear, not with force but with light. The light I lit inside you will spread. It will illuminate not just where you're going, but who you are. Others may not see the shift at first, but you will. You'll sense it in atmosphere, discernment, and language. You won't need applause. You won't need the affirmation they denied before. Evidence will be internal before it's external. I transform from the inside out, and what I ignite cannot be extinguished by pressure, criticism, or confusion. When I start a fire in you, it burns with holy consistency. It isn't fueled by emotion, it's sustained by my breath. This fire isn't destructive, it's purifying. It burns away residue of limitation, consumes the lies that said you weren't capable or worthy, and silences the noise that made you second-guess every move. In its place, you'll stand in conviction, not man-made certainty, but God-breathed assurance. You'll know what to say, when to move, what to release, and what to walk away from. The fire within won't just guide, it will define direction. This is not the time to retreat. It's the time to respond. You don't need to wait until everything looks ready. I am the one who makes things ready, and I have moved within you. That idea you've carried, bring it forward. That message you've held, speak it. That step you feared, take it now. What I've awakened will not go back to sleep. It won't wait for perfect conditions. It's alive, moving, and will make room for itself. Don't dim the light. Don't apologize for the flame. I lit it. I formed it in the dark. I will fuel it to fullness. You're not behind. You're not mistaken. You are ignited. What has begun will grow, spread, and shine in ways beyond what you imagined. It's alive now, and nothing can stop it. Amen.